The Zorath High Council had a single question that refused to leave their minds. Every species in the galaxy fought small battles every cycle, but one race stayed away from all conflict. Humans. They traded, they traveled, they helped others, but they never joined any war. To many alien leaders, it felt strange. A race so emotional, so loud, so unpredictable, yet so peaceful. It made no sense. Chancellor Virak believed humans were afraid. Weak. He often said they acted friendly because they knew they could not win a serious battle. But Elder Koresh did not agree. He had spent 50 years studying the human race. The more he learned, the more he feared what he found. But the council rarely listened to him. So the council sent a small scout team to Earth. Their ship was quiet, invisible, and fast. The team leader, Soral, had never seen humans before. At first, he found them almost amusing. Humans laughed easily, argued loudly, and cried openly. Their emotions changed like weather. One moment calm, one moment angry, one moment soft. Nothing about them looked dangerous. But Soral felt something strange from the first day. He could not explain it. Humans were peaceful, yes, but they carried a silent weight inside them. Their smiles sometimes looked like masks, hiding something deeper. Something old. Something sleeping. From orbit, Soral watched humans living normal lives. Men and women running in parks, children shouting happily, workers building tall structures, families gathering at night. Everything looked simple and harmless. Too harmless. One evening, the scout ship hovered above a quiet training field. A group of humans were running in strict formation. Their bodies moved with sharp discipline. They lifted heavy metal bars as if their lives depended on it. They shouted in rhythm, pushing their muscles, pushing their souls. It was not casual exercise. It was controlled preparation. Soral recorded everything. He felt his heart beat faster as he watched. These humans were not weak. They were preparing for something they hoped would never come. He sent a message to the council, telling them humans were not as soft as they believed. Chancellor Virak only laughed. He called humans children practicing games. He refused to believe a species so emotional could be dangerous. Soral wanted to argue, but he stayed silent. He remembered something he saw in a human saying, "Never mistake calm for weakness." He wondered if the Chancellor understood that. The next week, the scout team made a mistake. Their ship drifted too close to a human military satellite. It happened in 1 second. One moment the ship was hidden, the next the satellite turned its sensors directly toward them. It tracked them with perfect accuracy. Too fast. Faster than any Zorath system could react. The humans sent no message. No warning. No attack. They simply observed. Silent. Focused. Soral felt his stomach tighten. If humans were weak, they should have panicked. If they were peaceful, they should have tried to communicate. But they did nothing. Their silence felt heavier than a threat. The scout team quickly retreated. Soral watched the satellite remain locked on them until they were far out of range. Even then, he felt as if the humans were still watching. After that, Soral studied human history through their open broadcasts. What he learned stole the air from his lungs. He saw images of old wars, entire continents burning, skies filled with smoke, people fighting with desperate fury. He saw humans survive incredible disasters, rebuild their world again and again, and then choose peace not out of weakness, but out of fear of themselves. Humans were peaceful because they knew what they could become. He sent all this information to the council. Elder Koresh agreed immediately. But Chancellor Virak refused to accept it. He said Soral's fear made him exaggerate. He wanted real proof. So Virak gave a dangerous order. A small attack would be launched on a human mining outpost to observe human response. Nothing too big. Just enough to push humans into showing their limits. The Chancellor believed humans would surrender, hide, or negotiate. He wanted to watch them break. Soral felt sick. He knew humans would not break. They would change. But the order was already sent. On the surface of a quiet human colony, miners worked normally, unaware of what was coming. When the alien strike ship arrived, it fired a single energy blast into the ground. A warning shot. A small explosion shook the ground. Dust rose. Sirens echoed. The aliens expected screaming, running, chaos. But instead, something strange happened. Every human froze. Their faces changed in the same second. Their bodies straightened. Their eyes turned cold and sharp. Like a switch turning on, the entire colony moved with perfect coordination. Some carried the wounded to safety. Others activated defenses. Others prepared weapons with calm speed. Not one human ran. Not one human cried. Not one human begged. Soral watched from orbit as fear crawled up his spine. He had seen many battles in his life, but he had never seen a species transform so fast. The peaceful workers from one moment became silent warriors in the next. It was like watching a sleeping giant open its eyes after a very long time. Soral whispered to himself, afraid of the words leaving his mouth. They avoid war, because they know exactly what they are capable of. And on that day, the galaxy made the mistake of reminding humans of it. The humans reacted, but not in the way the aliens expected. The mining outpost did not collapse in panic. No one screamed or begged for mercy. Instead, humans moved with precision. They activated shields, set up perimeter defenses, and organized teams as if they had prepared for this exact moment all their lives. Soral watched from orbit, frozen. The peaceful miners were gone. In their place stood warriors who had not even seemed to exist before. The first alien drone that approached was quickly disabled. A silent pulse of energy struck it mid-air, sending it spinning into the ground. Another drone tried to attack from a distance. Within moments, it too was destroyed, not with chaos, but with sharp, calculated movements. Humans did not fight recklessly. They did not panic. They used intelligence, coordination, and strategy. Every step seemed rehearsed, yet perfectly natural. Soral could not hide his growing fear. He had seen many wars, many planets fall under alien conquest. But he had never witnessed anything like this. The humans were peaceful until pushed, but when pushed, they became something else entirely. Something dangerous. Something precise. High above, the council received reports from Soral. Elder Koresh watched the data in shock. "This is what I warned you about," he said quietly. "They are not weak. They never were." Chancellor Virak laughed nervously. "It is only a small outpost. A minor response. We will control them soon enough." But even he did not sound confident. On the ground, humans continued to prepare. They were not angry. They were focused. Every human acted as if they understood exactly how fragile life could be and exactly how much power they carried. It was terrifying to watch. One soldier, a human named Mara, looked up at the sky. Her eyes were calm but cold. She gave a single hand signal. Instantly, a line of small automated defense systems powered up around the colony. Another signal, and hidden turrets activated, ready to strike. Everything was ready within moments. The aliens assumed that humans fought with emotion, with uncontrolled rage. But what they saw now was something completely different. Humans fought with careful thought. Every movement had a purpose. Every action had a consequence in mind. Soral realized something he had not expected. "They do not want war," he whispered to his team. "But if forced, they do not stop." From orbit, the alien commander watched as humans quietly eliminated the remaining drones. Not one civilian was hurt. Not one human made a mistake. The aliens had assumed humans would panic, but panic was impossible. Humans had transformed without losing control. They were precise, disciplined, and deadly without being chaotic. Virak's plan had failed. Instead of showing weakness, the humans had revealed power. True power. The kind that had shaped their history, the kind that had made them survivors of countless disasters. The kind that no alien could easily understand. The council watched in disbelief as the human colony returned to normal after the drones were destroyed. The humans did not celebrate, did not shout. They went back to their work, calm and silent, as if nothing had happened. But Soral knew the truth. They had shown their strength. They had shown the galaxy what they were capable of. Elder Koresh leaned back, closing his eyes. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "They avoid war not because they are afraid, but because they know what war can make them do. And when they are forced, no one survives their full power." Soral looked down at the humans one last time. They seemed ordinary, weak, even. But he knew better. The humans were a sleeping storm. And the galaxy had just touched the first raindrop. The Zorith Council would learn this lesson the hard way. And in the quiet of space, Soral understood one chilling fact. The humans did not fight for pleasure, for conquest, or for glory. They fought because it was the only way to survive. And when they fought, nothing, not aliens, not machines, not strategy, could stop them. For the first time in his life, Soral feared an entire species. After the incident at the mining outpost, the aliens could no longer see humans as simple, peaceful creatures. Soral and his team began studying human history in more detail. What they found shook them deeply. Humans had survived countless disasters. Entire civilizations had risen and fallen. The planet itself had burned with war many times, yet humans always rebuilt. Every time a new enemy arrived, every time a war broke out, humans had found a way to survive. And not just survive, they learned. They adapted. They grew smarter. They became stronger. The aliens realized humans were not naturally peaceful because they were weak. They were peaceful because they feared themselves. Soral's screen showed images of ancient battles, entire cities destroyed, oceans turned to fire, machines tearing through armies. And still, humans had come back. Every generation had learned from the last. Every time they faced death, they became faster, stronger, more clever. Their enemies always underestimated them, and always paid for it. The council called Soral to explain his findings. "Do you mean to say," Chancellor Virak asked, his voice tight, "that humans have always survived war better than us?" "Yes," Soral replied, keeping his voice steady. "And not just survived. They have grown from it. They avoid war because they know how dangerous it is. But when forced, they unleash power no species can match." The council members looked at each other, their faces pale. They had never expected this. They had thought humans avoided war out of fear or weakness. Now they realized it was the opposite. Humans had mastered war, and chose peace only because they wanted to survive, not to be weak. Soral continued, showing ancient human weapons, tactics, and secret defenses. They hide most of their strength. They have tools and machines the galaxy has never seen. They do not use them unless necessary. That is why no one has ever beaten them in a true war. They are patient, smart, and deadly. The aliens began to understand why humans avoided galactic politics. Humans did not attack unless forced. They avoided conflict not because they lacked power, but because they knew the cost of using it. And when they did act, the results were terrifying. Elder Koresh whispered, "This is why we should not provoke them. They do not start wars, but if pushed, no one survives their full strength." Chancellor Virak shook his head, refusing to accept it. They are only one planet. One species. How strong can they really be? Soral looked at him, his eyes serious. "You cannot calculate human strength with logic, Chancellor. It is not just technology or numbers. It is their will, their history, their ability to rise from any disaster. That is their true power." For the first time, the council began to fear humans, not as soldiers, but as a species. Soral explained one final point. Humans had a memory longer than any other race. They never forgot what had been done to them. Every attack, every betrayal, every war was remembered and learned from. The humans were patient. They waited. And when the time came, they struck with precision that no alien mind could predict. The aliens realized their biggest mistake. They had assumed humans were simple. They had assumed humans could be controlled. They had assumed humans could be tested without consequence. Every assumption was wrong. Soral returned to his observation post over Earth. He watched humans continue their lives as if nothing had happened at the mining colony. They laughed, they worked, they argued. Nothing seemed extraordinary. And yet, he knew the truth. Humans were ready. They were always ready. And the galaxy had no idea what it had just awakened. For the first time, Soral understood the hidden lesson of humanity. Peace is not weakness, patience is not surrender, and mercy is not fear. Humans avoided war not because they could not fight, but because they remembered what war made them. And when they fought, it was not for glory or conquest, it was for survival, and they fought like no one else could. The Zorath Council had sent scouts to observe humans. What they had discovered was far more than observation. They had discovered a force the galaxy could not easily challenge, a species shaped by disaster and strengthened by choice. And Soral knew one thing clearly. The day humanity fully unleashed itself was coming. The Zorath Council grew impatient. Chancellor Virak refused to accept the warning. One small colony does not define an entire species, he argued. We need to test them further. A controlled strike will show their true weakness. Soral felt a cold knot form in his chest. He had watched humans for months. He knew how careful, how patient, how deadly they could be when forced. But the Council ignored his warnings. Orders were sent. Another mission was planned, this time on a larger scale. The target was a human research station on the outskirts of the desert. Its purpose was simple: peaceful study of new energy sources. The humans there had no knowledge of alien observation. They were unaware of the danger approaching. When the first alien strike ship arrived, everything seemed normal. The humans worked, laughed, and walked between buildings. Then the attack began. A pulse of energy struck the outer perimeter, destroying a single communications tower. The aliens expected panic. They expected chaos. They expected surrender. But humans did not panic. Not a single person screamed. Not a single person ran. Instead, they moved with calm, terrifying efficiency. Alarms sounded, not in panic, but to coordinate. Every human seemed to know exactly what to do. Defensive shields powered up. Automated drones took positions. Soldiers, scientists, and even civilians worked together with perfect coordination. Soral watched, frozen. He had never seen anything like this. The humans did not retaliate immediately. They observed. They calculated. They waited. Every movement was precise. Every action was deliberate. Then Mara, the leader of the human defense team, gave a signal. Instantly, hidden turrets emerged from the ground, and energy pulses disabled several alien drones before they even reached the station. The aliens tried to retreat, but their ships were caught in invisible traps humans had prepared long ago. The aliens realized, too late, that the humans had anticipated every possibility. They had calculated every weak point, every escape route, every possible attack. Nothing the aliens did surprised them. Nothing. Soral felt fear unlike anything he had known. The humans were not angry. They were not fighting for glory. They were protecting their own. And in doing so, they revealed a terrifying truth: humans never fought blindly. They fought with precision, intelligence, and deadly calm. The Zorath Strike Commander sent a message back to the Council. They are too organized, too prepared. We underestimated them. Chancellor Virak refused to believe it. He ordered more ships, more strikes. But each attack was met with human ingenuity. Every plan the aliens created failed. Every weak point they assumed existed was a trap. Every retreat path was anticipated. For the first time, the council began to panic. Elder Koresh watched quietly, knowing exactly what was coming. Humans did not start wars. They avoided conflict. But if forced, they unleashed everything they had learned over millennia. And once unleashed, they did not stop until the threat was completely gone. The alien ships fled. Many were destroyed. Many more were disabled. The humans did not celebrate. They returned to their work, calm, quiet, as if nothing had happened. But the aliens knew better. Humanity had remembered the attack. Humanity had responded. And humanity had won. Not out of rage, but out of controlled power. So Raul whispered to himself, his voice trembling. We provoked them. And now we have seen what they can do. We cannot stop them. Not now. Not ever. Above Earth, the Zorith Council faced a terrifying truth. Their test had failed. Their arrogance had awakened something they could not control. Humans avoided war not because they were weak, but because they had learned the cost of it. And when forced, they were unstoppable. The first real battle had begun. And the aliens were already losing. The humans did not stop at defense. They began to show the power they had hidden for centuries. Soral watched from orbit, unable to believe his eyes. What the aliens thought were peaceful colonies were actually ready war machines, designed not to start battles, but to end them if needed. The research station, calm and ordinary a moment ago, now hummed with deadly activity. Hidden satellites repositioned themselves in orbit. Drones armed with advanced energy pulses rose silently from underground bays. Automated defense grids activated with perfect timing. Every human, from scientists to soldiers, moved as if part of one single organism. The aliens tried to attack again. Their ships fired lasers, missiles, and kinetic projectiles. But humans responded with precision that no alien could match. Energy pulses intercepted missiles mid-air. Drones disabled ships before they reached the planet. Turrets struck with perfect accuracy, leaving no chance for the aliens to recover. Soral's hands trembled as he sent reports to the council. They are using everything they have. They do not fight like any species we know. Their power, it is beyond calculation. Elder Koresh leaned closer to the screen. This is why humans avoid war. They carry the knowledge and tools of every battle they have ever fought. They survive, they learn, and they do not stop until the enemy is defeated. The humans had secrets the galaxy had never seen. Orbital cannons, AI-controlled fleets, kinetic weapons that could destroy entire ships in seconds, and technology designed to outthink alien strategy. Humans had sworn not to use it unless absolutely necessary. But now, the test had forced their hand. Mara, leading the human response team, gave silent orders. Ships rose from hidden bays. Weapons that had been dormant for decades activated instantly. The humans were not angry. They were not seeking revenge. They were simply showing the aliens what happened when humans were provoked. The aliens tried to retreat, but the humans were everywhere. Every escape route was blocked. Every maneuver anticipated. Soral felt fear crawling up his spine. This was not a fight. This was a demonstration, a clear message. Humanity would not be challenged and remain untouched. The council could not believe the reports. Entire fleets disabled without humans leaving the planet. Alien strike teams destroyed before they could regroup. The humans had transformed from a peaceful race into a force that no one had imagined. Soral whispered, "They are beyond anything we thought. They do not want war. But if forced, nothing survives their full power." High above, Elder Koresh nodded. This is why they avoid war. They know the cost. And now, the galaxy has learned why humans do not fight lightly. But if provoked, we are witnessing what it means to see humanity unleashed. The humans returned to their normal lives as if nothing had happened. Children played, workers built, and scientists continued their experiments. To the alien eye, it seemed ordinary. But Soral knew the truth. Humanity had shown its full potential. They had reminded the galaxy of what it had feared for centuries, that humans were not weak. They were patient. They were intelligent. And they were deadly when forced. For the first time, the aliens understood the chilling reality. Humanity's power was not just technology. It was history, survival, strategy, and determination combined. The galaxy could never underestimate humans again. And somewhere deep in Soral's mind, a terrifying thought formed. The humans had only just begun. The war the aliens had tried to provoke was no longer a small test. It was the awakening of a species that would never be stopped once fully engaged. The aliens thought they could regroup. They thought their fleets, their numbers, their advanced technology could overcome a single planet. They were wrong. From orbit, Soral watched the humans coordinate attacks across multiple fronts. They did not shout commands. They did not panic. Every action was calculated. Every movement had a purpose. Alien ships that had been confident moments before were now falling one by one, disabled by systems the humans had quietly built over decades. The Council watched in horror as the humans struck. Mara and her team moved like ghosts across the battlefield, never wasting energy, never making mistakes. They predicted alien maneuvers, adapted instantly, and used every advantage Earth had to offer. It was as if the planet itself had risen to defend its people. Soral realized the truth that the Council still refused to accept. Humans did not fight like any species in the galaxy. They did not rely on anger, brute force, or fear. They relied on precision, intelligence, and experience. Every human action was a response to the enemy's move before it even happened. The aliens' strategies crumbled. Ships collided in panic, weapons jammed, communication lines failed. The humans were everywhere at once, on the ground, in orbit, in hidden drones no one had seen before. They were not chaotic. They were perfect. Chancellor Virac screamed orders, demanding retreats, reorganizations, anything to stop the destruction. But it was useless. The humans anticipated it all. Every plan he created failed, not because humans were reckless, but because they were prepared. Every contingency the aliens had overlooked was now exploited perfectly. From the surface, the humans acted without pride or emotion. They did not celebrate kills or victories. They simply acted with calm, deadly efficiency. To the aliens, it was terrifying. There was no fire, no fury, only unstoppable precision. Elder Koresh leaned back, watching silently. "They do not enjoy war," he whispered. "They avoid it, yes. But when forced, they end it completely. And they do not stop until the enemy cannot rise again." Soral's sensors captured the aftermath. Alien ships destroyed. Bases disabled. Strike forces completely neutralized. Not a human casualty. Not a civilian harmed. And still, the humans returned to their ordinary lives. Workers continued building. Scientists continued experiments. Children continued to play. The aliens realized their most dangerous mistake. They had assumed humans were emotional, unpredictable, and weak. They were none of those things. Humans were careful, strategic, and deadly. And they had patience unlike any other species. They could wait years, decades, even centuries, to strike if needed. The Zorith Council had sent scouts to learn about humans. Instead, they had seen a species in full force, one that could outthink, outlast, and overpower them without a single moment of rage. Soral whispered to himself, voice shaking, "We have underestimated them, and now it is too late." Above Earth, the planet remained calm. Oceans reflected sunlight. Cities glimmered peacefully. Humans laughed, argued, and lived ordinary lives. But beneath that surface, the galaxy had witnessed the truth. Humanity was not just strong. Humanity was unstoppable when pushed. And for the first time, the Council understood something they could never forget. The humans did not fight to conquer. They fought to survive. And when they fought, no enemy, no matter how advanced, could escape their full power. The war had escalated far beyond what the aliens had imagined. Humanity had revealed itself fully, and the galaxy, for the first time, realized why humans were avoided in wars for so long. The Zorith Council sat in silence, unable to speak. For the first time in history, they truly understood the humans. They had observed them for decades, underestimated them for centuries, and yet, they had never seen their full truth, until now. Soral floated in orbit, staring down at Earth. He could see cities glowing in the night, oceans reflecting moonlight, and forests stretching endlessly. Everything seemed calm, peaceful, ordinary. And yet, beneath that calm, the humans carried a force the galaxy could never fully measure. Chancellor Virak, his face pale, finally spoke. I thought we knew strength. I thought we understood war. I was wrong. Elder Koresh, quiet and solemn, replied, humans avoid war not because they are afraid. They avoid it because they know what war makes them. And when they are forced, they do not stop until the enemy cannot rise again. The Council realized the terrible truth. Humanity's avoidance of conflict was not weakness. It was caution born of understanding. Humans had seen the cost of their own power countless times in their history. They had survived disaster, rebuilt civilizations, and learned from every mistake. And the lesson was clear: provoke them, and nothing, not fleets, not technology, not strategy, could match their determination. Soral's eyes remained on Earth. He could see humans going about their lives. Children playing, workers walking home, couples laughing under streetlights. Everything looked normal. But he knew the hidden truth. Humans were always ready, always watching, always learning. And when the time came, they would unleash a force that no one could stop. The aliens had expected chaos and anger. They had expected fear. They had expected weakness. Instead, they had witnessed patience, intelligence, and precision beyond comprehension. They had seen a species that fought not for glory, not for conquest, but for survival. And when humanity fought, it was absolute. Chancellor Virak swallowed hard. We cannot provoke them again. Not ever. Elder Koresh nodded. The galaxy must remember this. Humanity is not a race to challenge lightly. They avoid war because they know what war makes them. But if forced, nothing survives their full power. Soral finally understood why the humans had always seemed peaceful. They were not soft. They were not weak. They were aware of their own strength, and they chose to control it. Mercy, patience, and diplomacy were not signs of fear. They were signs of understanding. And now, the galaxy had witnessed the truth. Humans were not conquerors by choice, but survivors by design. They did not fight for fun. They did not fight for pride. They fought to protect, to endure, and to ensure that nothing could threaten their survival. From orbit, Soral whispered to himself, almost in awe, "Do not make them angry. Do not test them. Because when humans fight, the universe will remember." The Council sat in stunned silence. Humanity had taught them a lesson no one would ever forget. Earth remained calm, ordinary, peaceful. But the galaxy knew something new, something frightening and inspiring. Humanity had been unleashed. And the universe would never be the same.